Yo, this is Tony Vlaco's Team TV, baby. The winner of Survivor Cagayan Season 28. This is Survivor Talk with D&D. To you guys from my Spy Shack. I hope you put on a great show like you always do. Peace.
Peace. Hey, everybody, this is Dwayne.
And David.
And we're just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. Tonight is our recap and discussion of Episode 3 of Survivor San Juan Del Sur Blood versus Water. And it was called, unfortunately, David got points again by John Rocker saying the title. Go ahead, David. Do the honors.
Action versus Accusations.
Yes. David got points in our Survivor challenge.
Are we gonna keep tallying that, because I think Shane is getting tired of writing such a high number and then such a low number.
Yeah, David's kicking my butt in this game.
Yeah, and I'm also catching up in Andy's game. Thank you very much. I went from the bottom. I'm only 19 points off, 26 points from the top.
Yeah, well. By the way, if I feel and look a little jittery tonight, my parents drove in from Texas today.
They didn't hit the house or anything, did they?
No, thank goodness they didn't do that.
I didn't know if the house might be shaking or something because you said jittery.
No, but they're watching the A-Team, streaming it on the Apple TV, and I thought
we were the A-Team.
Yeah, well, I said, I don't know why you're watching the A-Team. David and I are on. And Dad's like, well, the football game was ridiculously one-sided, 24-0 or something at the first quarter. Indianapolis.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's like
it's not a game anymore.
Texans showed up. Anyway, so we're live on YouTube, Google Plus, and our website. So feel free to leave comments on YouTube. I will try to see them. David, do you have YouTube open on your other computer?
Not if you want me to be open on this one.
Oh, okay.
No,
right.
No.
Well, the comment tracker that I use sometimes shows them and sometimes it doesn't. So go ahead and post on there, and if we see your comment, we might say something about it. And tonight is us, and Sunday night is you. And I realize with us recording on Thursday that it gives you one less day to get your feedback in, but you can do what Will the Giant Ninja did last week and go ahead and just send it in before you hear us. That's fine. But if you haven't sent it in yet, send it in by Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can go to stwdd.com/feedback, and that's all the different ways. stwdd.com. There's a feedback menu up there. So what do you think, David? Should we tell them about our feedback show this Sunday and why we're excited about it?
If you want them to come listen, sure. I would.
Well, go ahead and tell them then.
We've got a guest.
A good one.
And she's already been mentioned in this season.
Yes.
By Michigan John.
Yes. Jatia Taylor. And no, I thought about it. I'm not going to put bags of rice in my room because I don't want them dumped all over the floor. No, but anyway, so tonight I called her on Google, because since you and I do live Google Hangouts for our interviews and stuff, whenever we call a Survivor, they're like, okay, yeah, what time are you gonna call me on the phone for the interview? No. It's live video. Put on some makeup, get a shirt on. I got an overlay made for you. Because mine says, whoa, that's really far. Mine says Dwayne Stroud. Hers says Jatia Taylor. Everything like that. We got all that stuff set up, and I was ready to get off and go talk to my mom and dad. And she's like, "So, what'd you think about this episode?" And I was like,
"Good."
I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be good."
Yeah, she's ready to talk.
Yeah, she is, and so it's gonna be good. So Jatia Taylor will be on. She said she'd try to stay on through some feedback, and so that'll be fun. She'll be on. So if you have questions for Jatia, you can include them in your feedback, and we'll make sure that we do those first. You get moved to the front of the line if you have questions for Jatia.
Since it's easier to find, that should entice you to send a good feedback.
Yeah,
it's easier for me to follow comments on Facebook. I started a post on our Facebook page, Survivor Talk with D&D, and it says YouTube comments here for Episode 3 Recap Podcast.
Oh, okay.
So I will refresh the Facebook page and look for anybody's comments on there and I'll share them here. So if you're listening live, or the few of you that are, if you want to make comments and we don't see them quick enough on YouTube, go to our Facebook page and post them there if you can do that, and then I'll find them there and we'll share them.
Right, and it's actually our group, and I'm not trying to correct you, David, but we do have a page
right.
and a group, and the page we're not looking at. So it's the group, facebook.com/groups/Survivor Talk. Of course, if you're watching us live, you probably are a member of our group. Anyway.
You'd never correct me. That's unlike you.
Never. By the way, thank you for starting your shopping on Amazon using our links. It helps us greatly. And if you like the show and you want to buy us a cup of coffee or a milkshake or something, just a couple of dollars a month, go to survivortalkwithdnd.com/support or stwdd.com/support. Become a Patreon member, $1 or $2 a month, and buy us a coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I'll buy a shake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna do the D&D Survivor Challenge podcast in our feedback episode. We don't do this anymore.
We're not doing that tonight. That's
right.
We're
getting time to do that, so you'll get those in our feedback show.
Yeah, we learned last week that it takes a couple. Yeah.
Too much pressure. Too much pressure. Yeah. Shayna watches as much TV as we do, and it's a lot to do in just 24 hours. So and she wants to be right. We want to be right. So.
Shayna's like, David, stop calling me 1 hour after the show and asking if you're still ahead. Hi, Janice. It's nice to see you on YouTube.
But she gives me the same Shayna response. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are.
There we go. Hey, we can see David now.
Seriously.
I accidentally had it on where it was only showing me no matter what was going on. And everybody was like, wow, David's in a hall closet or something.
There's a voice coming from somewhere.
Yes. Now he muted, so now you just don't even know where he is. All right, well, let's get into our show, David.
Before we do that, though,
okay,
I think you should tease what you're going to do at the end of the podcast, what the end of the discussion. The 7 things.
Oh, yeah. I have purposely...
Which is why I wrote it down.
Yeah, thank you. See, that's why you write it down. Normally, I read stuff on Thursday. I'll read Dalton Ross's stuff, and I'll read stuff. But I had such a intense reaction to the episode that I needed time to process the episode. I'm really glad we didn't record last night.
Yeah.
I needed time to process the episode. So I didn't want to go read people's thoughts today, but right before the show, I already have my initial thoughts and my, we're not gonna bury the lead. We're gonna talk about what was going on with Rocker and everything right up front, and so I already had all that set in stone. And then I went and somebody posted on Facebook, on our Facebook group, 7 things we learned from John Rocker during the Survivor Live, and I think he was talking to Malcolm.
Yeah, it was Steve Chernikoff. So thanks, Steve, for posting that.
Thank you, Steve. So I went and looked at those 7 things, and I'm looking forward to sharing those later on in the podcast. But we don't want to share them now because because we want you to listen to the whole show.
Yeah, at least.
We want you to listen to an hour and a half of us rather than clicking over on YouTube to Survivor on CBS and watching the 10-minute interview. No, don't do that.
You'll get more from us.
All right, David. San Juan Del Sur Blood versus Water, Episode 3, Actions versus Accusations, Initial Thoughts. So here we go.
Go.
I was initially very upset because I felt like Jeremy was being hypocritical, and Natalie was being hypocritical, and John Rocker was getting raw into the deal that just because you have a reputation of being bad doesn't give everybody else the right to treat you badly. I even posted on Twitter, if you poke, prod, and some other P word, John Rocker long enough, sure, he's going to react, Mm-hmm. So I kind of felt like, that he was not really the victim, but that he was treated unfairly,
Yeah.
I felt like Jeremy not giving Rocker any slack in spite of Rocker trying to let him know it at the risk of his own position in his tribe. See, so for me, Rocker really tried with Val, Okay, he really tried to help her in his own way.
Yeah.
And he tried to tell that to Jeremy. Jeremy had nothing of it. So as much as I loved Jeremy's mature approach to John Rocker last episode, I hated his approach to John Rocker this episode, and I still do. I still don't like the fact that he just dismissed him.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And it's like Jatia said to me tonight, though, yeah, but he was pretty ticked off that his wife was gone. I said, yeah, you're right. So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing Jatia. I didn't like the way they kept poking at Rocker during the challenge. And in fact, even Jeremy even started, they just hit your girl, Rocker. You know. So anyway, to make a long story short, I just didn't really like the way they did that.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on earlier today, I was cleaning house and everything. And I think you and Andy and I were in our own little message group, Andy Baker, writer of the Baker's Dozen. And I had put on there just a little how frustrated I was. And Andy kind of reminded me that I need to remember that I'm seeing what CBS wants me to see. Right? They purposely try to edit the show to garner sympathy for Rocker.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm thinking now. But I have a feeling he was saying and doing things much worse than we saw. So I think now, and especially with some of the stuff Baylor says and some of the other reactions we got, I'm thinking Rocker said a lot worse stuff than CBS showed us. All right? And which still I don't think justifies treating somebody badly, because you know me, if you treat me badly, I'm going to turn my cheek. In all honesty, if you treat me badly, I'm going to treat you even more nicely.
Right.
That's generally the way I operate. So, but you got the preseason quote as an example, which we didn't hear today or last night. Aren't you supposed to lose weight on the island? You know, comments like that. And then even as I was watching the episode again, I hear John Rocker choke him, you know, knock him out, stuff like that during the challenges.
Yeah.
Which is okay, but how much of it was he doing? You know,
right.
and was it being received? You know, there's a fine line of doing that, and if everybody on your team keeps looking at you like, would you shut up and stop saying that, then you got to know when to shut up.
Yeah.
Right? So in the end, I decided that he wasn't playing this game to win, first of all, because he wasn't. He was playing to not get voted out early and to not look like an idiot.
Right.
I mean, he didn't need the money, and he wasn't playing it to win it. I think he would have wanted to win it. He's a very competitive guy, but I don't think he felt like he had a chance to win it. And so I think he was just playing to not get voted out pre-merge. And then having said that, in all honesty, the negative and mean-spirited way people are interacting with each other is putting a bad taste in my mouth. Now, I wrote that before I watched it the second time.
Mm-hmm.
Connie said to me tonight, and this is the third thing. So the first one was I was irritated at the hypocrisy. The second thing was I realized, you know what, they're giving us what they want us to get, what they want us to see. Connie had this great revelation tonight that I think very well may be the case. I think I'm going to go with what my wife said. This is one heck of an initial thought, isn't it, David?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to go, that's okay. You had 10 things last time.
Yeah. Well, if this is really that good, then Connie might be giving initial thoughts from now on.
Yeah, wait till you hear this. And it's like news flash for me, but, you know, she said, Dwaine, what if Hunapu, since Jeremy was upset with John, what if Hunapu decided, obviously sans Julie, without Julie, you know what, since we know he has a short fuse, since we know he's easily egged on, let's go to that challenge and purposefully try to get him to react so that they will vote him off because we want him out of the game because of what he did to Jeremy. Right? So they go into the challenge with the full intent of messing with John Rocker, pushing his buttons, being an antagonist until he blows up and says stuff that he shouldn't say, and they succeeded. Boom. Initial thoughts. That's my first initial thought.
Well, that was your first or your third? That was your whole.
That was my first. I have another one, but it's really short and it has nothing to do with Rocker. So what do you think of my wife's thought?
I have to say it's quite genius because it's my second initial thought.
There you go, David.
That immunity challenge, I really felt like I completely agree with her. They went in there with a subplot of saying, you know what, no matter what happens, we got to draw out Mr. Lead, Mr. Power, completely without Julie.
Right.
We got to draw him out and show them what he is and that they don't want him there. And it worked.
Right.
I completely agree because Baylor's comment was cloud of darkness, anger and negativity, and it worked. Their actions gave Kuopu every opportunity to work together against him.
Yes.
What is it?
It's Koyopa.
Kuopu? Was that
Koyopu.
Kuopu, I sure did.
Every time you say that, I feel like I need to leave the room.
See, I think me and Connie are on the same genius level. That's really, really good.
I'm really glad you and Connie didn't meet before I met Connie.
I think we're more like brother and sister. We're not.
That's true.
But I love her observation because the second time I didn't get it the first time. I got it the second time because I was really. But the funny thing is, I was irked the second time I watched it because of some of the things said in that scene. I wasn't irked the first time, and I'll just do my other quick initial thought. My first initial thought was, what just happened? I felt like I've got old CDs in my truck, and my truck bounces a lot, so it skips every now and then.
Yeah.
And I felt like a lot of scenes we skipped. It's like suddenly, we got to keep the five guys together. Suddenly, I'm thinking about voting out John. Wait a minute, how did you get to that point when 2 seconds ago you were good with the five guys?
What'd you do, get up and get nachos or something?
I don't know. I'm always good with five guys because their French fries are so good. But now you're talking about voting out John. I know.
Five Guys, burgers, and fries.
Yeah, that was for Kathy. Slipping that in there. But it just seemed like it was skipping. And I know they can only get so much in so much time. But there was a lot of that to me. And I don't know if that's editing or if that's just I don't know what it was. But I really felt like they got to the end a lot quicker than they should have according to what we saw.
Yeah.
And the other part was, one last initial thought. Sorry, this one just hit me because it came from what Connie was saying too. I thought these were two outstanding challenges, but I'm really starting to get bored with the 1-versus-1 challenges. And I would have loved to have seen that in a team challenge. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the second challenge was absolutely awesome because it incorporated so many things, but it ended so horribly, socially, that to me it almost ruined the challenge. That was my other initial thought. What's your last one?
Well, the last thing I want to say about the rocker thing is if indeed it was gameplay, brilliant, I love it. I mean, because no holds barred if it's gameplay. If it was truly just a negative, mean-spirited, kind of bullying somebody because of what they did 15 years ago, then yuck, I hate it. But if it was gameplay, right on, way to go.
I think it was actually a combination of those things.
Okay, as long as it leans towards gameplay.
I hope it was gameplay because if it wasn't, it was pretty bad.
All right. My second initial thought, David.
Wait a minute. I thought you've already had 3, including Connie's.
If you don't want Jacqueline rattling about your scheming, maybe you should include her in your planning.
I think she was.
No, I don't think.
I think it was just that bad.
No, David. They never mentioned her.
Yes, they did.
Be part of the planning.
Josh said that Baylor needed to talk to Jacqueline because Wes needed to talk to Alec.
Are you sure? Because I really would like to think that. Okay.
No, when we get to tribal council, I'll prove my point in some other comments.
Okay. All right. Oh. Anyway.
I think she knew the plan. That's why she said what she said.
Yeah. All right, before we go any further, we will not be spoiling anything. I don't even remember the preview for next episode, so we're just going to be talking about episode 3. We won't be spoiling anything. I honestly don't remember the preview, so until I get there in my notes, and then I won't, and then we'll let you know. That's always at the very end. All right, night 6, David. We are back at camp. We are back at Koyopa.
Can I comment on previously on?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. And usually I don't. I get through those so quick. But I wrote down just one line. I said Val did not want to work with Rocker as much as Jeremy did. Val had no reason not to trust Rocker.
Right.
And she let it go. So.
Right. Oh, can we say one of the 7 things right now?
Well, you got the list. Why not?
John would have given Val his idol if she hadn't lied about having one. He was ready to give it to her.
He says that now. I mean, I heard him say that to Dalton too. I would have given her the idol. Well, I mean, we also know that people comment now with very positive things, and I'm not saying he wouldn't have. In fact, Rocker probably would have.
Well, he wasn't planning on using it for himself.
But like he also said, I looked her right in the face and gave her one more chance. Do you have the idols? Yes, I have 2. She had the chances and she blew it.
Right. Okay. So, are you done with Previously On, David?
I think so, yes.
All right.
Yes.
So night 6, we're back at Coyopa. Baylor is having an epiphany. Maybe she'll write a song about it. I'm no longer depending on Josh, but I'm going to fight for myself. That's Baylor's new song.
I love that you came up with a song for that, because
right on the spot.
This was probably one of my strongest points of the entire episode.
All right, let's hear it.
Survivor-wise, that she woke up at last week's Tribal Council. I know, exactly. That's what she said. You know, she's gotten votes every time, and now I'm not going to trust anyone anymore, but I'm still going to be willing to play with anyone.
Right.
Which is a very good, open-minded strategy. But at the
Yes.
same time, do not trust anyone, especially Josh.
Right.
Because Josh doesn't want you to win. Josh wants Josh to win.
Yeah, and Josh, I mean, he hasn't done a very good job of garnering her trust.
No.
I mean, let's just be, I mean, he hasn't told her anything.
Exactly.
I mean,
he doesn't tell anybody anything until after it happens.
I know. I mean, the fact that she's blind. The first time, the fact that he voted for her was a blindside, and the second time, it's like, what do you mean there's votes going on me? You know, that means Josh is not telling her what's going on. I really liked her edit tonight, or last night.
You and I talk about this. I don't look for winners' edits.
Well, no, I don't either.
I'm just talk about it, and I hate listening to people. I understand that people do, and they look for that. That's fine.
Well, I don't
but
hate it.
No, I don't hate it, but I don't want to listen to it because I feel like that's a spoil.
Yeah. I wasn't talking about a winner's edit. I just liked her edit.
I wasn't either, but I loved her edit in this episode. I really thought from beginning to end her game went way up, and I got a comment later on about her edit and what I thought about this. So
I liked how she recognized the situation she's in, and she's not going to keep trying to hold on. She's realized, okay, look, this is not going to work. Let's do something, right? Yeah. And even though her partner Jacqueline is the silent partner, who's just kind of okay, whatever.
Not silent all the time, but go ahead.
Well, she doesn't. All right. Anyway. So Josh isn't trusting Rocker too much either.
Right.
Which is why he voted for Baylor. But we already knew that.
Yeah, and
how about the...
go ahead. Oh, nice little foreshadowing that Rocker says, my guy's Alliance player wouldn't like it if they knew I was working with Val. So got to keep that on the hush, guys, okay? Don't tell anybody.
Yeah. And I love this foreshadowing of the end of the episode by Josh. Unless something crazy happens, are probably next on the chopping block.
Exactly. I wrote down the same thing.
Something crazy is about to happen.
I wanted to hear the end of his comment to Rocker as to why he changed his vote. Because he just, he, like you said, once again, he does something off schedule, off plan, and then he admits to it, to somebody he's supposedly working with. So there's 2 people right there after 2 tribal councils that he's come back into. So, well, I made a decision and I changed something without telling anybody, obviously. And I did that, but he doesn't really say to. I don't think we get to hear exactly why he tells John, but in a confessional, which I got points for, thank you very much. In the confessional, he says he did it to save Baylor.
Yeah.
And you know what I thought about at that point after Baylor gave that great comment about waking up? I said, "Oh, you just saved Baylor. I wonder if that means Baylor is going to be your demise."
Yeah.
I wonder if Baylor, after the merge, Baylor is going to spearhead Josh's blindside.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I just think that's coming. I even wrote that down later on to mention later, but I just think that's Baylor is surviving. She reminds me of Denise. She's been to tribal councils. She's actually had her name written down, and she's surviving. I see her going to the merge, getting on a weak team. I'm not a merge, a shuffle. I agree. I think they're going to have one because I think they're going to lose again. I see her getting on a weak team in the shuffle, continuing to go to tribal council, continuing to get votes, but somehow managing to stay alive. Yeah. She's not a physical threat. So she knows the way she talks, she's survivor savvy.
That's right. Baylor, I don't know if you're listening to us or not, but I was just thinking I was going to tell everybody to go find you on YouTube and listen to your music. I genuinely like her music. See, now it's country now. It's country music, but it's good stuff.
I haven't heard it yet.
Why not? I've posted links and everything.
Because I can't play it at work.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean I can't either. I play that at home. Yeah, of course.
Dwaine, are we singing that Sunday? No, we're not singing this.
Wait, why are you listening to All Stickied Up or whatever it was called? She's got some song about being all sticky, and it's people throwing honey on each other. They're all at a party. It sounds a lot worse than it is.
Yeah. You might want to. There you go.
Oh man. All right, day 7. I don't have anything else for night 6.
Nope.
Day 7, Hunapu. Drew's taking charge, man. This is the funniest little scene. I mean, Drew's like, "All right, y'all. I'm in a good mood tonight." So Drew's like, "All right, y'all. Now we need to get this cover taken care of. So let's do some palm fronds, and we're gonna weave it all together. Now, ladies, teach us how to weave." And then it's like, man, this is tedious. I'm gonna take a nap.
This wore me out.
What the heck?
He led so hard, and then that work just wore him out, so he had to take a nap in the middle of everybody.
You have to have a lot of gall to sleep in front of I mean, not just like go off and sleep, like, hey, I need to go find some more palm fronds and then go sleep. To literally put down a palm frond and lay down and go to sleep in front of everybody else that's doing the work that you suggested. You got to have a lot of gall.
When Natalie was picking up her, which we saw, this was a scene that was put out on the web like 24 hours before, but we got to see her poke him in the nose with the palm frond.
Yeah,
I was so hoping Keith would pick one up and just go wham right on top of him as he laid on the shelter.
If you were my son, I'd take a palm frond to your naked rear end.
Whoop ya.
I'll whip you. I don't know if I can say that on camera or not, but that's what I do.
Keith, you did just say that on camera.
Yes, you did. But that was just a hilarious.
That was good.
Hilarious.
And of course, Natalie's right there to call him out on it. She's not going to hold back. And you know, it's, to me, throughout this episode, she plays with I've got nothing to lose now.
Yeah.
I'm going to say what I feel, do what I want to do, and if I can get one of these people that I like to the end, I'll do that.
Yeah. I should write a song parody off. You know the Lionel Richie song "Crazy"? Because I'm crazy. You know that song?
I think so.
Drew could sing "Because I'm lazy."
I sense a parody for me.
Nah. I'm not in the mood
but
for that one.
It's got to be as good as Alina's poster that she made of Zoolander with Drew.
It's amazing.
Which I would have said 3% body fat, 1% brain activity, or something like that. It was great.
All right, let's get to the reward challenge, my friend. By the way, Shayna Davis on YouTube said Baylor and Missy are getting the Sierra and Monica edit.
Oh, absolutely. All Missy's doing is crying and sympathizing with people, and all Baylor's doing is reading the game and reacting to it and surviving.
Yeah.
Before we do that, I wrote down that Jeremy says that Drew won't win. Flat out, he won't win, and he gives a confessional at the end, which I also got points for, that he may even quit by day 20. He'll just say, Jeremy, just give me the money. So I mean,
that's a foreshadow of the quit.
I don't know, but the SCA 9000 hopes it's a foreshadow of a win because it picked Drew to win.
Oh my!
Yes, but Jeremy says that he won't win. He will not win this.
All right, let's get to the reward challenge. Jeremy, quite unhappy with not seeing Val, his beautiful bride, and he just goes off on Coyopa and says, "Look, women, do you not see what's happening? The men are taking over.
Y'all need to change it up."
Mm-hmm.
And I got the same expression that Baylor and Jacqueline did when we said, "Hey, can you not see there's only 2 of us?
Yes.
There's 5 of them and 2 of us. What do you expect us to do?"
No, I know what happened. Baylor, because Jacqueline didn't do it, Baylor sent secret sign languages to her mom and said, "Well, then we need your help to get the guys to vote out one of the guys." And Missy took that information. That's my crazy theory.
Wow, I gotta go back and watch that because Baylor must have done a lot of sign language.
Yeah.
We need you to draw out of John the evil that he's portrayed for the last 17 years. And if you can do that in a challenge, we might have a chance of blindsiding him out of the game. John, you didn't see that, right? Okay.
That was priceless. I wish y'all could have seen that.
That's the fastest sign language I've ever done.
Yeah. Oh, as though it was real sign language.
It was motion language.
Yeah.
It was read my lips.
It was okay. I got to tell you a story from when I was a little kid. When I was a little kid, I guess had to be 3, 4, maybe 5 years old. But I was at my aunt and uncle's house, and these kids came over, and they were deaf, right? So every time I would speak to them, I would go, "Hello, how are you doing?" As though they could read my hands.
Were you actually covering your mouth when you did that?
"Hello, how are you doing?" And they'd be like, "Move your hands. We need to see your lips. We can't. My name is Dwaine. What is yours?" And literally, I'm just, playing with my fingers in front of my face. All right. Oh, man. Anyway, so Rocker puts his game on. Now, Rocker really did put his game on the line to try to apologize to Jeremy, because he basically called himself out in front of his whole tribe, which I didn't even think he would do.
I think I'm just going to add to your point. I do believe he put his game on the line, but I think he did it more for Julie than for his game. Like you said earlier, I think he's pretty set on he knows he can't win.
Yeah.
But he's only good. I don't think he'd really care if Jeremy got upset if Julie wasn't over there with him.
Oh, right.
She was already gone. So I agree with what you said, that he put his game on the line, but I also think he did it for Julie.
Yeah.
To give her a chance. Hoping that Jeremy would say, maybe I got to believe him at this point, or because I'm sure Jeremy made a case for one to work with him on Exile Island, and John was still hoping that was going to be there. But right. I agree, he put his game on the line to try and help Julie. I think to keep her in the game, give her a chance to get further.
Yeah, it's time to stack some squares.
I like this challenge. I would.
6.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree because it went by really fast. But I would have liked to have seen each castaway have to do this on a long tread, go from one end to the other. I really think this would have been a neat tribe challenge.
Yeah, it would have. But as it was, Wes almost underestimated the ability of his dad.
Who were you picking when Wes said that?
I picked his dad.
I did too.
And to be honest with you, his dad almost beat him.
Yes, he did. It was right together.
Yeah, it was good. And boy, I tell you what, Keith, I think Wes is seeing a side of Keith he's never seen before.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Something about this game, and I guess Andy could probably speak to it, even though his was a shorter game. He played, what's the name of that he played in?
Durham Warriors Survivor Challenge.
Yeah, but apparently Survivor, really draws out. It has enough stress in it that it draws out even emotions that you don't normally show or share, because Keith is, crying all the time.
Well, we know pretty well that every scene lasts twice as long as we see. Even Rocker admitted today in his interviews that last week when we saw him say, "I lost to a girl," he went on to say how proud he was of Julie and how well she did, and he was really impressed and stuff. So I would imagine that there was some more dialogue even before this challenge. What's it going to be like if you lose to your son? What's it going to be like if you lose to your dad? And knowing Keith from the short time that we do, if he wins, then he's going to earn it. He's going to deserve it. So I could just see him setting himself up to be emotional about it, and it makes a lot of sense. But this episode of this season was completely, even Gracie said it, this was just a blood versus water episode.
Oh yeah, so much.
This was all about the relationships, and I mean that's what the season's about, and they got it, because we would never have half of this stuff if it was just two new tribes.
And it was nice not to have so much Probst melodrama either this episode, not as much.
Yeah, that'll come back next week.
As we had last week. And to be fair to Keith, he did have Probst poking him with the cattle prod.
Come stand over here, Keith.
Keith, how'd that make you feel? Oh, it made me really...
I was kind of surprised though that Wes said he's never seen this in his dad.
That's what I'm saying. They don't have that kind of relationship.
But like you said, it's the strain of the game. It's 10 days with hardly eating, going to exile twice for Keith, well, eventually twice. He's already been once. And just seeing his son stand up and do well. How much more proud can you be? I bet if Dale lost to Kelly, he'd be just as proud and just as choked up.
Yep. All right, so Wes decides to send Josh. and I liked his reason. I think there's some strategy behind it. I clicked with Josh. Maybe my dad will click with Josh. You know?
I completely agree, and I love the Josh pick because Josh is a very well-rounded person.
Mm-hmm.
I also found it interesting that when Wes looked over, according to the edit, when Wes looked over, Dale looked right at Josh and then looked at Wes. I'm just wondering if that was a tip-off or if that was actually what happened after Wes said Josh. Dale looked at Josh. But it was almost like Dale gave a signal of looked at Josh.
But that would mean that wouldn't that mean that Dale has some leadership in the tribe, and I think Dale is way out on the outskirts.
Well, if there's Alec, Wes, Rocker, and Dale, and they feel Josh is kind of swing vote for both sides, then I could see Dale being like a senior mentor, an older person that he might listen to. I don't necessarily think that's what was happening. I just thought it was interesting that it looked that way in the edit.
Right. Yeah. So, Shayna asked, did Wes say his great-grandpa died right before they left for the game? No, I think what he said was I haven't really seen, basically what I got out of it was he hadn't seen his dad cry like that since his dad's granddad and his great-granddad passed away. That's
right.
Kind of what I got out of it. So, and, of course, they take the fishing gear, which apparently did them well, served them well.
Yeah, because Rocker says another fish
when
he brings it up.
Yeah. And Rocker says something again, I did everything I could for you, brother, I promise you, and Jeremy's response in another confessional that you got points for. Well, you didn't, or she'd still be here. I'm out to get that boy. Paraphrase. That's the Dwaine standard version.
And the sad part was Rocker was telling the truth.
I know.
And he got no credit for it because I think of his history, because of his past. You know, he came into the show with baggage. Nobody else did, but Rocker did.
Well, the 20s had a little bit of baggage.
That's true. That's true. They had twin baggage. Right.
All right, Hunapu, back at camp. This is when we get Jeremy's full
ventilation.
Revenge. Yeah. Let me tell you who he is. Let me tell you what he did.
Y'all don't know who he is. I know who he is.
Yeah. Now, I don't really get Natalie going, now why is she off crying? You know, have some empathy. Her boyfriend is getting berated right now at tribal council, or back at your camp. And, you know, that's personal. Sure, he's not home, but he's being raked over the coals. She has every right to go off and cry.
Right.
My thoughts.
To me, that's a reactionary response from Natalie, and it's not thinking about, like you said, there's no empathy there. She's just reacting to what she sees and saying what she thinks.
Right.
Without thinking about any repercussions. Same thing with Monica. Monica came back upset when Brad got called out like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to happen. It's a natural reaction.
Exactly. Anyway, so I wrote so much bitterness and anger on this tribe, and Missy seems a little uncomfortable with it.
Mm-hmm. I thought Reed had an uncomfortable look as well. Almost like when Jeremy started talking about Rocker, Reed's like, I know about Rocker. Like he almost put his head down like, I know who he is, but I'm not going to say anything. I thought that was smart that when somebody wants to go off, let them go off. Especially if it's somebody that you could afford to lose. Not saying they're going to send Jeremy home, but if it's only one person, let them go. And if Natalie wants to tag along, let them go. Those two are the ones now without their loved ones.
Right.
They're probably going to be the most bitter, which is exactly what CBS wants.
Right.
And let them go. Let them have their time and be thankful that Josh is still there. So the look on Reed's face just kind of led me to believe that he knew of Rocker, but he was going to let Jeremy say all that he wanted to say, and that was smart.
Right. And another thing we have to consider is when you're playing a game like Survivor, you will do it's like Sandra used to say, I don't care who as long as it's not me. Right? So you want, if a situation arises like this where, hey, I can get attention on two other people, you know, John and Julie. That's two people that are now before me. So everyone's going to get involved because, you know, we want the attention on John and or Julie.
Exactly.
Not just me.
Stand behind them. Don't get in front of them.
So, anyway, so there you go, Hunapu back at camp. You got anything else about that?
No, I mean, it wasn't my favorite scene. It was kind of like a mob mentality where everybody was just agreeing and nodding. But at the same time, I thought it was, like we said, it was smart. Don't interrupt. Just let them vent. Let them get it out. See where it goes from there. You might learn something you don't know. He might slip up and say he found the idol too. Yeah. But, you know, But I was a little perturbed that he said I was giving Julie the benefit of the doubt, because she's not Rocker. I'm like, of course you should give her the benefit of the doubt. She's not Rocker.
Right.
And I would guess she wasn't with him 20 years ago when he made those comments.
Right.
So I don't know.
I like Jeremy goes, he made racist and homosexual comments. Like, really? He made homosexual comments? Like, what were those exactly?
Yeah.
Hi there, big boy.
Slip of the tongue there.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, Exile Island, day 7. And this is funny. It's like, hey, Keith's like, now I know my way around Exile Island, Josh. Yeah. You just follow me, but you stay on your side of the fire there, boy. Stay on your side of the fire there. No homosexual comments.
Those are your rocks. These are my rocks.
My rocks. We will not be cross-rocking. Like cross-dressing. Well, no cross-rocking.
That sounds like a parody, too.
You know what was funny? He goes, I don't know any Joshes in Louisiana. I was like, dude, they're there. You just don't know them. They don't come around your farm, but they're there.
But at the same, I know that was. Sorry, I love that. I love that scene. It was a great scene, but at the same time, I think it shone a very good light on Keith.
Oh, sure.
For getting on, and it showed a great light on Josh.
Oh yeah.
This is what we're going to see at the merge. This is what got to happen. And Keith is so likable with his accent and his comments. Everything about him is funny and likable. If he could stay in the game and stay mentally in the game, he could do well. He could not be a target.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be the weakest member. I don't think he's the weakest necessarily in his tribe, but once the merge comes, he may not be the biggest target, and he could get through in the game. And Josh is very adaptable. He proved he went to a new person he hadn't spent any time with, got along swimmingly right from the start.
Right.
And I thought that was a good clip for Josh, as well as Keith.
Did you catch the edit where Keith was like, well, let's share whatever it is. Whoever gets it, let's share it. And Josh was looking at him like, well, I don't know about that. Until, of course, his was blank. And then all of a sudden,
they're best friends.
That's a great idea, Keith.
I know Josh's face is like, I don't think so. Let's look at the clues first. Oh, you got one. Look, mine's toilet paper. Mine's blank.
Yeah.
What do you got there? Oh, that's nice.
Which begs the question, why have we not seen Jeremy looking for the idol? He's been looking for it. He's got one heck of a good clue.
I think I was right with talking to you and Andy one day when I said we don't need to see it until he needs it.
Yeah, well,
or until right before the merge. I would bet he's already found it. I would have to think he's already found it.
So we'll be like on day 12, and they'll act like he found it on day 11, when he probably found it on day 4.
I mean, he'll probably just pull it out and reveal it sometime and say, "Look, I've had this." He's going to either have to show it to somebody, because they hardly ever send somebody to tribal council without letting us know they have an idol.
Right.
That we've never. I don't remember being that blindsided before.
Right. All right, let's go to Coyopa.
I did like Keith's last comment when he said that when they I love their open conversation, because this is one thing I'm missing this season is Andy talks about it too, the one true, finding that one person that you feel like you can share everything with, and I really worry that Josh has kind of ruined that with Baylor. I think he's really tampered with that a little too much by not trusting her.
Yes.
And I want to see the conversations between their one true. And I love the open talk of Josh and Keith flat out saying, Josh is saying, well, then Rocker's probably found it.
Right.
Which is smart, because if Rocker hasn't, then Josh will, and he'll have it, but he's got it pointing at Rocker. And Keith is like, well, you know what? Jeremy's been here, and he had a clue, so Jeremy's probably got it at my camp.
Right.
So, and I love that open dialogue between two people that are not on the same tribes.
Mm-hmm.
Will probably make the merge. And Keith's last comment was, Jeremy is the only one standing in my way, because I need to go back and find that idol, and Jeremy's going to have it. So I wonder if there's conversation going on between Keith and others about, Jeremy's probably got an idol.
Right.
I've been there twice. I've only seen one clue, but there ain't no idol around the well.
Right.
Now, did you see the latest clue? Was it anything? Wasn't it another whole 2 more clues as to where it was?
It added 2. I think it even told like the direction. I don't remember.
I didn't really get a good look at it.
I didn't pause it to check, but it was 2 more.
It's kind of like we know where they are, and we think we know who's got them, so we don't need to keep looking at clues.
Yeah. Do you get the feeling maybe Josh is overplaying just maybe a hair? It might come to bite him in the butt later on?
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
All right. So do I. So we get a rare night 7. Coyopa. Rocker brings another catfish.
Yep.
But that's not the real reason they showed us night 7. We want to see Baylor talking to Wes and Alec.
I was trying to come up with a name for the two of them because they're basically like the same people. You know, when you're talking to one, you're talking to the other, and it's like they're just two votes together. They're gonna do whatever the other one does, and to me this was a very revealing scene, and I thought it was a very positive scene for Baylor.
Yeah, I do too.
In the sense that she's telling you guys that you know you're gonna have to make decisions. You're gonna have to do a big change, and Alec is like, I just find it hard to believe that you don't think we're counting or we're paying attention or that we're thinking about this. Baylor's like, I know you're not thinking about this. I've lived with you guys for 10 days. I know what you're not thinking about, and I know what you are thinking about, and it's got nothing to do with Survivor and winning the game. I'm like, tell them that's a really good sign from Baylor. I love that she's like, I know you're not thinking about the game. That's why I'm talking to you right now. Yeah. So he goes, we'll think about it. We'll think about making the big change. And then apparently she goes 5 feet away.
Yeah, really.
I hated having to lie to her, but we're not voting John out anytime soon. She's crazy.
Yeah, good thing she's over there 5 feet away and can't hear us.
And she don't think we think about things.
Yeah, although, you know, that could have just been the edit.
It could have. There was a lot that could have been edits here.
Yeah. One thing that I got out of this was pre-immunity challenge, we get a Baylor comment about John's negativity and his attitude. So that kind of lends credence to what I was saying, that CBS was not showing us all the stuff John was doing there. But he was apparently already doing stuff, because she mentioned John's negativity and attitude and as one of the reasons to get rid of John. She was already talking about getting rid of John.
Yeah, I wrote down anger and negativity, and that leads to your theory about her signaling to Missy to put a plan in.
Yeah.
You're onto something here, buddy.
Yeah, right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the immunity challenge.
That's right.
It's a new challenge. Hey, check it out. Big Brother could learn something. I like it, but there's a lot of extra. The only thing I didn't like about it was it's this big, huge circle thing, right? Or squared off, whatever. But they don't use all of it, you know?
Yeah.
So that was kind of disappointing. I wish they would have figured out a way to make them have to use all of it.
You know what would have been neat? If they had put in 2 shooting balls and made a Y out of it, whereas you start here, and one ball's here, and one ball's here. So you could get this ball and shoot, and if it goes this way, you can take off after that ball. You know, just to cover more distance. I like what you're saying, that they didn't. Right. It was like one path, and then you just got to chase the ball from wherever it went.
Or have a ball in all 4 corners.
Yeah.
You know? And one of them, or in 3 corners, since it was first to 3.
Yeah.
You know, and the first one has to go to that one, the second one has to go, or something like that.
And I really like this too, and I liked how you didn't have to crawl under every post to get where you're going. If you're tall, you step over it.
That's right.
You know, so that was smarter than to pair up with tall people.
Rocker long legs.
Yep.
You just walk right on over those things, but don't slip, because that'll hurt.
Rocker more than Jacqueline, yes.
Yeah. John and Natalie versus Josh and Baylor. We get to hear Rocker go, "Run him over." And
now,
Dale.
You made a good comment about worse things being said. That could be true. I just think there were a lot of things said on Rocker's part. I don't know how bad they were, but I think if it's a continuous commentary, that's going to rake on your nerves pretty bad.
Right. And Dale, you want to talk about somebody smack talking the whole game? Dale, man, golly.
He kind of looked a little disappointed that he didn't get to play. Yeah. But he kind of nodded that he was sitting out, like, against my judgment, but I'll sit out.
Yeah.
The old guy sitting out.
Yeah. So John scores. The next we have Wes and Alec, Missy and Julie. Alec takes out Julie, and I went and rewatched it, man. I mean, he honed in on her and knocked her a good one.
Where's the comments about Alec? That was a slam. That was like almost a wrestling slam. Yeah. And you could see him eyeing her the whole way.
Yeah.
Put her into the sticks, and she's like barely getting up crawling.
Right. Why didn't Natalie go, "Bad sportsmanship, bad sportsmanship"?
Exactly. That's why I was a little perturbed after the second time watching this too, because I saw that too. I even rewound it the first time with Gracie. I said, "What? No, I think she just got in his way." I said, "No. Look at Alec. He goes sideways. He's looking for Julie, and he puts her into the sticks."
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. Yep, Jeremy goes, he just smashed your girl, John. Anyway, Wes makes it.
Yeah.
Then we got Drew and Reed versus John and Jacqueline, and then John goes for Reed.
Puts a little shoulder into
Yeah.
Reed, pushes him aside. Yep.
And that's when Natalie yells, bad sportsmanship right here.
Really? For that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. A guy hitting a girl I thought was more bad sportsmanship than Big John running into not small Reed.
Maybe that's why Alec wanted to leave at the end so quickly.
Yeah.
Before y'all remember that I took out Julie.
No replays. No replays.
Yeah. Before Probst brings that up.
So, and that could have even been brought up. Like you said, with all this editing,
Yeah,
Julie could have said, "You're getting mad at John, but what about Alec? He almost pushed me through the fence."
Yeah. The next one with any action was Wes and Alec versus John and Natalie. Probst said Wes tangling it up with Natalie, but Natalie went for Wes. I watched it.
I did too. Natalie goes right to her right and hip checks him right in the face.
That's right.
Right in the shoulders as they're trying to go by.
That's bad sportsmanship.
Now, to me, it was bad.
I don't think so, by the way, for the record. I think that's part of the game.
Oh, absolutely. If the reason they put the demolition derby line in the middle is for them to collide.
Exactly.
So absolutely.
Now, it may not to be throwing Alec's shoulder at a woman's face, but I mean that was.
Maybe Alex said sorry. I know that was really hard. That was the hardest hit I thought of all of them.
Yeah.
She just flew off the ground into the sticks. Now, my only regret for Wes and Alec was don't let the guy who's already made one shoot a second time. You take your ball and you throw it at his. And especially if he shoots before you. If he misses, you've missed two, you chase again. But if he shoots before you and you allow it to go, you're risking it going in.
Right.
So if you throw your ball at his, you are hoping that you hit it, knock his further, yours drops, and comes back down in a near manner. I'm sorry, but I do that all the time. I will do it with soccer balls. I'll do it with whatever. I will kick it at your soccer ball so your soccer ball doesn't go in if that's the little challenge we're doing. I'm not giving you free shots. If you need one goal, I'm not giving you a chance to make that goal.
I was going to say, last time I watched soccer, there's usually only one ball in play. So I don't know what.
Very good observation.
Like you're the coach and you like throw a ball in.
That's not the ball. This is the ball over here. Now, if we're doing a drill and it's me against one of the players, I'm not going to let that ball go in. I will stop it anywhere I can.
That's awesome. Oh, man.
Last time I checked, there's only one soccer ball.
Hey, why is the coach throwing a ball at the soccer ball?
Now he's throwing two. Wait a minute, we can't have that many balls out there.
Yep. As soon as this challenge is over, Natalie starts talking smack, which, again, if it's gameplay, way to go because it worked.
Yeah, but her first line really bugged me.
Which was it he's a bad sportsman, or was it the why don't you say some homosexual?
No, before that. She said, you're following a racist.
Oh, yeah.
That really bugged me. I'm with you on I really think a small part of this was strategy. To draw him out, to draw out the fact that he needed to be singled out. And if we win, we need to get them to see that John's the guy to go after.
Right.
I really felt like it was bullying, but you know what? It's also strategy. At the same time, I think it was a strategy. But man, she just that first, because that's the one that kind of got him like. That's when he said save it. He did the finger thing that you're just a mouth talking. Just save it, And then I'm sorry. She said, first thing she said was change things up. Stop voting out the strong people.
Right.
And my thought was, you're looking at the strongest guy over there.
Yeah, really.
Val might have been strong for a policewoman, but she wasn't strong in the game. And yes, Nadia could have been strong, but she was also your sister, so that makes sense as to why you're complaining right now.
Right.
But I agree with you that this was strategic. This was to shake things up. But once again, this is why we have blood versus water. We never get this in any other season other than a blood versus water season. And and this is like them saying, come on, and you'll join us if you get rid of the people that you don't need over there. Get rid of the people that are running things. Don't let them come over here. We want sheep. We don't want shepherds. We want sheep when we do the merge. So you sheep, get rid of the shepherds and come join us.
Right.
But I didn't really have a problem with too much of it, but that one line really bothered me. I didn't really care for that.
I like what Julie said. They don't know him personally, but they are bringing up all that stuff from the article. And apparently Jeff Probst needs to get out more.
Gosh, I thought he knew more.
I know.
I was so surprised. Do you know what article they're talking about?
What are you talking about?
There's an article? You
Yeah,
played baseball?
And Julie's like, well, they obviously know.
Yeah, like I'm not going to say it. They know what it is. Do y'all know about it? John's on our tribe, and we're going to back him up. Good answer, Dale.
Yeah.
Good answer.
And Rocker finally just goes, you know what? If you were a man, I'd just come over there and knock you out, knock your teeth out.
Knock your teeth out.
I'm not scared of you. Come over here. I didn't say I was going to. I said if you were a man. You're not a man.
Yeah, I know he's not going to do it. I know it's verbiage versus a physical threat.
Yes.
But I completely understand and sympathize in the fact that, like, I think he said in one of his interviews today, you know what? You just got to stop it sometimes. And sometimes you just got to say something to the nth degree to get them to stop.
Yeah.
And it didn't necessarily work, but, you know, instead of egging one and one, John just went all the way up to 10.
Yeah.
Said, if you were a guy, I'd knock your teeth out right now.
And they all act shocked.
Yes.
Really? That's like putting a brown recluse on your arm and then getting mad at it for biting you.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
You push, you poke your pride, eventually it's going to bite you.
That's right. Believe me, the more I mess with my wife, the more mad she gets.
The nails come out.
There's only so far you can go. You know?
And John's like, you know, I'm not going to verbally fight with you. Let's just take all this down and we'll fight right here. Let's just do it physically.
Oh, well, wait. First of all, Alec goes, hey, how about we just go back to camp? Which could have been the end of it, right? But Rocker goes, well, let's just take all this down. We'll beat each other up. Like, John, that was your cue. You could have just shut up right then.
I know. I love that Probst wants to continue. It seems like he wants to continue. Alex is like, I don't know why we're still talking.
Yeah.
Let's just go. We got to go back and make a decision. We're going to vote out a girl, and we'll be fine. I don't know why we're still here.
Yeah.
But you know, the edit I thought was good for Rocker in the sense that you never saw him get mad. He was frustrated, and he was like, he's probably thinking the same thing as Alec. Can we just leave? Probst, can I just walk away? Are the producers going to let me walk away from this scene? Or do I have to stand here and take this? Because I think he took even more than what we saw in the edit. You know, there's probably a whole lot more.
Well, yeah, but I also think he gets a kick out of just being able to say stuff to people. You know, so he may not get mad, or if he does, he doesn't like act like it. He'll just say something back at you that's like really mean. Like, you thought you're supposed to lose weight on the island. You know?
Yeah, you get 5 shots and he gets 1 big shot.
Yeah, and he gets a big one, and then so.
I wonder if that agitated them more, that he wasn't coming back. And
exactly, because don't you hate it when you're arguing with somebody and they're all calm?
Because they're just jabbing. Whoa!
Yeah.
Jabbing. Whoa! That's what it looked like.
Oh, well, he got the womb later on.
He did.
Anyway. So
Still, it was a really good challenge. I really liked the challenge, though.
So let me play for you a very good clip that explains where Josh's mind is. Because, Rocker says that he and Josh were really close. Of course, Baylor thought that too.
Yep.
So here we go.
It is scary that John loses his patience, he loses his temper. I think John is playing haphazardly, and he's doing things that are not going to be helpful for the tribe right now. That's a problem.
So there you go. So Josh gives a little insight.
And I do like that he mentioned the tribe, because it is still tribe versus tribe.
Right.
And even though Josh has played a little unpredictably sometimes, I think he's done what's been best for the tribe in the long run, but mostly for Josh. But at the same point, what is what's best for Josh? Because everything's what's best for Josh. But trying to put the tribe first, and I understand. But it's funny because him and Jeremy were both. That's the guy I want next to me at the end because he's not going to get any votes, and now suddenly they don't want him anymore.
Right. He's just too much.
Yeah.
It's funny you go, playing for Josh. It's funny because on Big Brother Australia, and I know you're going to half-heartedly listen. Here.
Whole heart. Here it is, my whole heart.
Okay. Wow, that's a big heart. So
thank you.
They'll like complain. They'll be like, Lawson, it just seems like he's playing. He's only thinking of himself. He's only playing for himself. Like, hello.
How many winners?
Yeah.
Each season, just one.
All right. Coyopa, day 8. And Baylor starts off. They should vote Rocker off. And this is the only other clip I have. But this is another very good clip, a very insightful clip of why the tides are turning on Rocker.
Yeah.
They should vote John tonight. Natalie is a fighter and she's a trash talker, but for John to be a professional athlete and act like that, I didn't respect his responses whatsoever. I felt like they were seriously harsh and mean and scary.
Now, see, that's what's interesting. Seriously harsh, mean, I get those. Scary? What was scary? So was there something said, obviously, that we didn't hear? Because I don't think him saying, you know, if you were a guy, I'd knock your teeth out. That's not scary.
Well, it might have been the fact that his 2 comebacks that we saw were physical violence.
Yeah,
maybe that was what he threatened, whereas they were just jabbing. They were, you know, in the long run, I think Baylor would take what they're saying as, you guys got to do something different. You got to mix it up because you're not going to survive. Right. And it seemed like they were really just talking to Baylor and Jacqueline. You know, you two are on the outs, and you're already outnumbered 5-4 when you started this game. Right. So I could see that. I'll be honest, I had a problem with their first comment that he's a professional athlete and shouldn't act that way.
Yeah.
I'm going to quote the great Charles Barkley, who said, just because I can dunk a basketball doesn't mean I should raise your kids. You know, I'm not paid to be a role model. Parents should be role models. You may not like Rocker. You may not like how he talks, how he acts, how he participates. But in his prime, if you want a decent guy to come in and strike out the lineup, he's going to come in and do that for you. And that's the guy you want on your team, no matter how he acts. You still, just like Dennis Rodman. In his prime, you want Rodman on your team, getting rebounds for your stars. You don't want Rodman on the other team. So whether you like him or not, you know, as a professional, you want him on your team. Yeah. So I'm sorry, if you want a role model in professional sports, you help your child pick out a role model. You don't just let them pick their own role model, because most of them probably aren't good role models.
Right.
But at the same point, parents be role models. But so I'm sorry, professional athletes don't have to be perfect.
Where's my applause button for you, David?
Oh, just the thought counts. Thank you.
Just. You can step off your little box.
That was the only issue I had with Baylor. Otherwise, the fact that she said, I'm getting votes at every tribal council, she expects more. It's almost like she's okay with taking that hit.
Right.
Because she knows, because she's working something else. And I really like that about her this episode.
Now, while I agree that this gives us insight, but we also have to keep in mind that if she needed Rocker, she'd be defending Rocker.
Hello.
Right? So she needs Rocker gone, because otherwise she's going home. So she's looking for anything she can. But just saying, she found some stuff.
You're exactly right, because she knows she's next.
That's right.
Because I think challenge-wise, I think Jacqueline's a little bit stronger. But you're right. Anything that keeps her name from being put down more than somebody else's, she's going to work towards.
Yeah. So what'd you think of Rocker telling Josh he had an idol?
That, to me, was Rocker trying to talk to his one true ally, his one true alliance. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Josh is probably not anybody's one true alliance except for Reed. You know, Josh is playing as many people as possible. Reed, who's on the other tribe.
There's someone named Reed playing?
Yeah. Yeah, my pick to win the whole show. Anyway, yeah, because Josh is obviously doing a great job of getting people to trust him. Yeah. For some reason, Baylor still trusts him. She's not trusting him, but she's willing to play with him. Yeah. But like I said, I want to find that one true person, and I applaud Rocker for feeling confident with him. He even said that he was one of his closest allies on the tribe. I don't really have a problem with it because of its honesty. Because you know what? If Val had done it, she'd still be in the game.
Sure. Well, you know, John thinks that Josh is his closest ally, so he's going to tell him. And, you know, I don't think he was telling him to try to protect himself. I think he was telling him because he thought he had Josh.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah, so not to protect himself. I agree.
But then Josh turns it around. So whenever Josh gives the reasons why he can't stay with Rocker, he actually turns that around on him. You know, well, I guess I can't trust him because he didn't tell me he had an idol.
Yeah.
You know, which I thought was a weak reason, but then he gave other ones. He says he's shown sketchiness. He doesn't like his mouth with the other tribe, and the whole fact that he got on with Val. You know, the whole thing with Val, and then he said and other stuff. So Josh is done with Rocker.
What's funny was Josh has done everything he's accusing Rocker of doing.
Well, sure.
Because Josh is working with Baylor, like Rocker tried to work with Val, and Josh is working with the Five Guys. You know, and Josh is changing his vote at every tribal council. So Josh is doing well. He's hiding his actions well.
Okay, but see, when I'm shining the light on someone else,
Exactly.
the light's not on me, David.
That's right. The flashlight's only point one way.
We don't need to be looking at what El Josho is doing. You know. No, you cannot have my flashlight.
That's
Leave
good.
it alone.
I'm pointing the light right now.
Yes, only me. It'd be fun if the producers go, "What? I'm sorry, were you describing your own actions?"
Exactly. That's what I wrote down. He's saying everything that he's done, and that's why I can't trust John. But it's Josh's savvy that he sees it in somebody else, which nobody's really seeing it in him yet.
Yeah.
I think Baylor's getting a hint, but for now, working with Josh is saving her. So, but Josh is seeing it in Rocker, and obviously he says you can't keep somebody like that.
Yeah.
You know, even as big a target as he's going to be, you can't keep somebody.
Yeah.
And I just love this whole few minutes unfolding where Rocker goes to Baylor and Jacqueline about blindsiding Dale. He goes to Alec and Wes, and then Josh about blindsiding Baylor, and all that work is for naught because it all gets turned around in one little waterside chat.
Right.
So, but that's where I presumed, because when Josh was talking to Wes, he said you need to get with Alec, and when he was talking to Baylor, I would bet anything she went to Baylor because Baylor said the one person we can't tell is Dale. We're not going to include Dale. Every other vote she said is going for John. So at some point she told Jacqueline.
Well, maybe.
I'm telling you.
Okay, she told. But they are definitely trying to paint Josh as the one that is controlling this tribe.
Yep.
CBS is. So Josh and Wes talk. Let's get John out. It'll be me, Wes, Baylor, and Alec. And then Josh, who is on your team.
We need to go back to that immunity challenge because I bet you anything when Natalie and Jeremy were going off on Rocker, Josh had a flashlight and was pointing it at Rocker. You're right. He's the one that's controlling the tribe.
That's right. That's right. I can't control it. Look how skinny I am.
I can't even shoot a ball. Baylor's got to shoot the ball.
So, you got some points for Josh saying blindside because he told Baylor.
I did. Yes,
that John was trying to blindside her. But it's not good for Dale. I think Dale might be next, not Baylor.
Yeah, well, Dale did not come out of this episode.
No.
Up.
Stock down for Dale whenever we get there.
Yeah, ditto.
Just a little heads up in case.
I think we both got the same stock up as well.
Well, I don't even know who my stock up is.
Okay.
Anyway. So anyway. And let's see, what else I got there? Oh, Wes talking to Alec. All right, so here. No, I'm not going to talk about what they were talking about because all I could think of was learn how to wear your freaking buff. Y'all look like weirdos wearing your buffs like that.
Dwaine, they're too busy thinking about the game.
They just take the buff, which is like, look, there's my Koyopa buff.
Yes.
Right? Go to Buff USA. You can go to our link on our website, and you can get them. There's my Koyopa. And there's my Hunapu. They're taking them here. I'll just show you.
Yes, show us how to do it.
Yes, this is what they are doing.
I would have laughed at that Black Hawk flag came down with.
I accidentally took off my Solana one also. Sorry. All right, here they go.
Here you go, Kathy. This is your moment to put on the Facebook page.
Oh, crab. This is what they do, man. Wait. This is Wes.
Survivor dish towel.
This is what they do. Dude, this is not how you wear a Survivor buff.
And you wonder why Baylor's looking at you, knowing that you're not thinking about the game.
And they both have their buffs on like this. You know? I mean, at least Dale, puts his up into a headband. Anyway. Learn how to wear a buff, guys. Someone in production, that's production's fault. I'm just gonna call them out. Hello, are you there?
I agree. No, I agree.
All right.
You'll see in a minute what I'm looking at. But I liked what to me this was telling, and this is why I put these two guys together, because Alec doesn't want to vote out John, but Wes said we're voting for John. I'm not going to explain it to you. I'm not going to tell you necessarily why right now. But
Well,
we are voting for John.
well,
We are
maybe it was
one.
like, maybe I can't. Okay, I'm not quite sure why. You'll have to ask Josh.
Yes.
No, okay, go ahead. I interrupted you.
But no, that's he said it. We're voting for John. You and I are voting for John. Alec is like, John Rocker, the strongest
Yeah.
guy in the tribe, the most
Yeah.
athletic guy in the tribe. I mean, Wes and Alec are athletic. They prove that. They're very fit, obviously, and strong. But Alec is right. I mean, the guy that pushed us up the wall in the first challenge that we should have won.
Yeah.
That's the guy in the 5-guy alliance. That's the guy
Yeah.
we're going to get rid of. And
Yeah.
Wes is like, yep, that's what I was told to do, and that's what you're going to do.
That's
So,
right.
okay.
Anyway, I thought that was funny.
That
Go
was
to
a
our
great-
website. On the left side, there's a yellow buff. Click buff logo. Click on it. And you can buy some buffs. Anyway, so John, hey, you know what? Good for John. He's bringing the idol. I mean, come on.
Did you listen to that interview with Dalton?
I didn't listen to anything today.
All right, there's Kathy posted it and I posted it. It's Dalton's podcast right after the episode. Rocker comes on about the 35th minute, and he asked him about taking the idol to tribal council. Rocker wasn't going to take it at all, but
Yeah,
on two separate occasions, two different confessionals, the producer prodded him about the idol. Why would you not take it? Aren't you going to take it? Would you use it? What would lead you to use it? What would make you feel safe? He just kept talking about the idol, and Rocker goes, you know what? Maybe I should just take the idol. Maybe I'll just take it anyway. So that's interesting. You ought to listen to the interview. It's like 15 minutes long. It's right at the end of Dalton's thing. But it's interesting. He gets a lot of good stuff, just like the 7 facts that you got to read. He's a good interviewer. I mean, he's a good interview, I guess. But
Well, let's go ahead and do those 7.
But he wasn't even going to take them. Go ahead.
Let's go ahead and do those. Oh, crud. I got my... Oh, here they are. So number 1 was John would have given Val his idol if she hadn't lied about having one.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, he felt Koyopa was outmatched athletically by Hunapu.
Yeah.
Number 3, John considered Josh his closest ally and the strongest member of his tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, he thinks he would have been... Which, you know what? John had a good point. Really, you're going to call me homophobic, which I hate that term.
Yes.
As though people are scared of them. That's
right.
I hate that term. But anyway, his closest ally was Josh. So anyway.
See, to me, that leads more to what you're saying about them calling it out as a strategy, or what me and Connie were saying about that being a strategy.
Well, everybody calls him that. I mean, anyway, I don't want to get into
I mean, the fact that they used that on him in that challenge. But go ahead.
Yeah. Number 4, he thinks he would have been in trouble regardless of what happened during or after Immunity Challenge, which may go to the fact that he'd already been annoying and doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5, when he saw the first vote was for him, he knew he was probably going home.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, he is now friends with Jeremy, Val, Natalie, and Nadia, and says the Twinnies are a piece of work and little instigators, but they're fun to hang out with.
He goes into more detail about that with Dalton on that short little interview. You ought to listen to that. It's really good.
Last thing, the hardest survival aspect of the game was being constantly hungry and not knowing when he would eat again. He lost 19 pounds in 10 days.
He talks about his goal was to get to the merge, and he said he would, for every other hour each day, he would sit out there on the beach and count castaways, count days to the merge, thinking, I'm never going to make it. He's so hungry. He lost 19 pounds, he said, in 10 days. He's like, I'm never going to make it to the merge, you know, physically. So yeah, he talks about that really well in that interview.
Yeah. All right, let's get to tribal council.
Okay.
Shayna wrote keep.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
One more thing. Is that tribal council or before? What did Shayna say?
Oh, she told me to keep the buff on. No, I'm not keeping it. I like my hair.
Right before we go, Josh talks about Baylor or Rocker. One of those two is going to go, and whichever one stays is the one that's going to get him farther.
Okay.
And I just want to think this is foreshadowing to the one he keeps is the one that's going to take him out of the game.
Okay, say that again.
I think this is, reverse. It's bad for Josh. I don't think Rocker would have taken him out. I think him keeping Baylor is going to come back to bite him after the merge.
Well, yeah.
I think Baylor's going to be the one that stems Josh's blindside.
I agree. I don't think Josh is going to win the game like I thought the other day.
Yeah.
Not after watching this episode.
Right.
So.
Okay, I'm ready for Tribal Council. So is Boba Fett.
I had to put Bubba.
Boba Fett.
It's my Bubba Fett.
He could wear a buff.
That'd be fun if I had a little mini buff.
Put a little dress on. He'd be good.
All right. So let's see. Tribal Council. This is where we get Jacqueline. You know, I thought we were in trouble, but then I saw the people, you know, they're all changing their votes to, I mean, basically, she almost gave it all up.
She said, well, before she said that, she gave a good preface to the fact that she's worried that if she doesn't do something, she's going to be a target at the merge. You know, and I thought, no, if you get to the merge, they're going to throw you a party because you did something right. If you don't go to the merge, then you'll be labeled as somebody that didn't make any big moves and left the game early.
Yes.
So I think she just got it reversed, but she's so sweet when she talks. But anyway, if you make merge, they're going to throw you a party because you and Baylor did something super special.
She is one of those ones who, whenever we get to see her on the finale, I'll be like, oh, I'll take off the makeup. She's, you know, she has that natural, that just natural look.
So you're like me. You and I we're not anti-makeup, but we like natural. We're just, we like natural beauty, and I just think I prefer that with Terry. She knows that. She doesn't wear hardly any makeup.
I told Connie the other day, I said, why don't you just stop wearing makeup? And she just laughed at me.
What are you trying to say?
She doesn't wear that much. But
yeah, neither does Terry. And neither do my daughters, bless their heart. But right after that, she goes into, but I'm seeing shifting going on. The guys are waking up. And all of a sudden, Rocker goes, what guys?
Yeah. But how about how Wes and Josh handled that, though? Wes and Josh handled that very well.
They did, very well.
Yeah. So
I was impressed with both of them because, like Josh said, something must be going on that I don't know about.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job acting like he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, and Wes did too. Give Wes credit that, you know, we don't know what Outlaw said, but Wes said, you know, my alliance has got a plan. Yeah. We're sticking to it. Your new alliance has a plan, and it's going to stick to it.
Yeah. So you think Baylor broadcasted her vote loudly enough? We got to get rid of that dark cloud.
The only thing she could have said more was the tall former baseball player who's a dark cloud over the tribe.
Yes.
But I loved her other comment. Guys need to stop going with the flow of the game and start playing the game. Don't go with the flow, or you're going to be flown right out of here.
Yeah.
Find your place in the game, listen to me, and do what I tell you to do, and vote the way I want you to vote. That keeps me in the game.
Yeah. She should have said, Rocker, if you have an idol, there's no need to play it. No, she shouldn't have said that, actually. Her butt was saved because Rocker did not play the idol.
Exactly. And then
it's ironic if she comes back and wins this whole thing.
I'm telling you, Denise.
Oh, I still haven't changed. You know, I didn't even make picks in Fun Office Pools this week.
I'm not sure if I did either.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a default pick either. And then Jacqueline comes back and says, I wrote mostly what Jacqueline and Baylor said. I just wrote that Wes and Josh fend off her comments. That's all I wrote. But then Jacqueline says she wants the guys to grow a pair and stop picking on her and Baylor. I mean, pick on somebody else. This is high school. Yeah. Stop picking on the two girls that are left. Just because you're five guys, don't pick on just the girls. I mean, we're weak. We may not be able to be as strong as you guys are in challenges, but stop picking on us. Give us a chance. But you know what, Jacqueline, in all honesty, look to CBS and say, hey, give us a chance. Make the genders even on the tribes. Yeah. If you're going to knock us down, don't put us at a disadvantage. You already gave them the advantage. Make it fair. Do something different.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm ready.
So let's get to the vote. Dale and Rocker were the only ones to vote Baylor. And Dale, as Shayna says, Scooby-Doo look on Dale's face.
Yes.
What happened?
Which is why you and I think he just got put on the outside because he's not in the young person's tribe.
That's right.
He's on the outside.
Well, when you don't know how when you get blindsided at tribal council because everyone in your tribe voted for somebody and you didn't realize it, then that's a pretty good clue you're not in with the group.
Yeah. So it's bad enough to go to Ponderosa for Rocker, but at least he's going to eat. Dale has to go back with a bunch of young people that did not include him in a major blindside.
Right.
And it's funny we talked about edits, and you read that Rocker said when he saw the first vote, he knew he was going home.
Mm-hmm.
We got that reaction on the third vote.
Right.
He figured Jacqueline Bailey, I can understand that. According to the edit, the third vote is when we got the big eye look. And I'm wondering if that was after the first vote, knowing that he shouldn't be getting any, it should have been Dale.
Right.
You know, so that's just more editing. I even doubt that when he called for idols, that he even moved. I think everyone, if you look at those edits, it's him sitting, it's him turning, it's him facing. They did that well to make it look like he was considering it. But I doubt he even moved when Probst called for an idol.
Yeah.
So just more hashtag editing or hosh-posh editing, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. By the way, I love your Seahawks flag.
That is for Faith because they did beat my Redskins last Monday night.
Yeah.
And but it was closer than I thought. Believe me, I was going to bed at halftime because we were getting trounced.
Yeah.
But they came back and made a game of it.
Did I tell you that Timothy came in here before the show and said, "Dad, I really want that flag. You know, my Chicago Blackhawks flag."
Yeah.
All right, John does not play the idol, and he goes home with an idol in the pocket.
Yep.
I got a little idol in my pocket going jing-a-ling-a-ling.
He even says when Probst, very nice. He even says when Probst, I'm telling you, a parody's coming. There's too much music in your head for a parody not to be coming.
Well,
but
not this weekend.
But I like what he said to Probst. He said, "Well played."
Yeah, well played.
You know, they got me when they needed to, or they got me completely blindsided. So, good for him.
All right. Anything else?
I saw Next Time On, but if you didn't see it, we don't have to discuss it.
Well, I tell you what, if you don't want to know what Next Time On was about, it was nice having you around. See ya. Next Time On, I did see it, and it sounds like Drew's talking like he's the big alpha dog. But that's really all I got. I mean, what could he possibly be gonna say to Probst?
That's about all I got too. I mean, why in the world would you want to make yourself alpha dog? Which tells me he's not really. It's overconfidence in Hunapu winning so much. Yeah. He feels no fear, no threat, and like you said at Tribal Council, I mean at the Exile Arena, it's like all of a sudden we see Probst happy that somebody's going to talk to him about something.
I wonder if they lost their Flint again.
Well, I wanted to guess. I wanted to make a guess. You know, I'm trying to think what he could possibly.
I know. I mean, what?
I can't imagine it's the Flint again. I can't imagine it's the Flint.
What did he say? He said no one else wanted to say anything.
Yeah.
Right? Or something like that.
Well, he can't be offering a deal for the reward or anything because if nobody else wanted to say anything, you can't do it by yourself. So.
It's obviously something they've been talking about at camp that they wish they had or they wish something, but no one wants to say anything. And so he decides, I'm the leader.
It's got to be something of a instigate a merge or instigate a shuffle or instigate something.
Oh, really?
I'm just.
Why would Hunapu want to have a swap? They're kicking butt. They don't want to swap.
They want to trade Julie for somebody. I don't know. I don't know.
Gosh.
I know. But to me, it's something that sounds like Drew would do to prove he's the leader.
Yeah.
You know,
why don't you get on the phone, text Probst, and ask him, and we'll just wait here.
He blocked my phone. He doesn't take my text anymore.
Yeah, he wouldn't know who it was.
No.
What in the world is a 757 area code? Isn't that your area code, 757?
Yeah. I wonder if it's Rudy.
Yeah. Oh, man. Let's see what else I got. Oh, I thought we were going to have an iTunes review because somebody posted in our Facebook group that they left us an iTunes review. And then when I got my iTunes review thing, I didn't have any iTunes reviews.
Oh.
And the last one we got wasn't very good.
Oh.
So I need another one.
Okay. Kathy outdid herself. She got me doing the Baylor sign language to Missy.
Oh, yeah?
But she got you
she needs
even
to
better.
put a video clip of that up.
She got you doing it even better. So.
Oh, great. What did she do?
Bless her heart. She got it pretty good. It's great. It's going to be my wallpaper.
What? Of me?
One of you.
Well, where is it? All right, hold on.
You can't see it, can you, because of the reflection?
Oh, my gosh. Now, see, that was when I first put it on.
I know.
Oh, that's a great one of you, though. There you go, everybody. Look, that is David doing his sign language.
It's motion capture. That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's not sign language.
Oh, man. All right. Let's see. So no, go leave us some iTunes reviews, please, so that we can get our name up there on iTunes. People can see us more. We are gaining new listeners, though, every week. It's pretty awesome. You can follow me on Twitter at Survivor_talk. Join our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/SurvivorTalk. Of course, go to our website. You can either go to SurvivorTalkWithDND.com or just STWDD.com. I thought about doing STDD.com, but I didn't want to deal with all the jokes that Mike and Cleveland would have thrown at us.
There you go.
STWDD.com will get you to our website. Woo! Music for tonight's show is Summit by Skrillex. David, you got anything else about the show that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to give even though I think I made it obvious through the show, my stock up for this episode.
We forgot that.
Hello.
I'm so sorry.
Somebody wrote the notes really well.
I know. I skipped right to iTunes reviews.
Yeah. I think it's obvious for me that Baylor got my stock up this week. Coming from the losing tribe, but still, when she goes to the merge, she's not going to be a threat. Mm-mm. She's going to be Missy's little girl. It's going to be a wonderful reunion, and I think she's going to go far. And she's going to be, I think, someone that instigate Josh's demise.
I think Baylor's going to win it all, and it's going to launch her country music career.
Never know. I thought I was going to say Josh is a stock down because I thought, even though he's still playing well, I thought he lost a little foothold with his constant inconsistency, which doesn't seem they should go together. But anyway, however, I think if Coyopa, is that how you pronounce it?
Coyopa.
If they lose again this week, if there's no shuffle and they lose, I think Dale's going to go because he's just not in the young person clique, and I don't see them wanting to get rid of one of each other. So I put Dale as my stock down.
All right. Didn't I say Josh was my stock down?
You said Dale.
Oh yeah, well then that's what I meant. This is my Drew. My Drew look.
Oh, no, he doesn't wear it. That's Alec. Drew wears
Alec.
his around his wrist, yeah.
No.
Or it could be Wes.
Wes, yeah, it's my Wes.
Yeah. Who gets your stock up this week?
Definitely Baylor.
Yeah. Okay. That was all I wanted to add, except for your incredible look. So if you're listening, go to our Facebook page, join our Facebook /groups/Survivor Talk with D&D, and you can see the wonderful pics that Kathy Drantham is posting for us of Dwaine.
I hope she gets that. Watch this. Watch this. I can't believe I do stupid stuff like that.
I can.
Here we go. No, it's all right. Anyway,
just let that fall. There you go. There you go.
This is the look. Whenever I go bald like you, this is what I'll do.
That's right. Go to our Facebook page. You can see these pictures. I'm sure they'll be there soon.
Hey, yeah, we're trying to get up to 500 members of our Facebook group before our 200th episode, and this is episode 182. 182?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, or 183, one of them. All right, hey, get your feedback in. SurvivorTalkWithDND.com/feedback. All right, deadline is Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be live, my friends, at 10 p.m. Thank you for everybody who watched. We had a lot of viewers tonight. Always good to have you.
Don't forget your questions for Jatia in our feedback show.
Ask questions for Jatia. Okay, Jatia. Doesn't that make you want to get a chia pet? Jatia.
No. It might you.
Jatia. All right, buddy. I gotta go. Y'all have a wonderful night. That's all I got. How about you, Dave?
I'm good.
All right, see you, everybody.
See ya.